Hello and thanks for joining us for the second live episode of The Mix. For the next 15 minutes we will be joined by the supremely talented classical singer Alice Hoyle. And before I chat to her, here she is singing A Nightingale in Berkeley Square.
Certain night, the night we met, there was magic abroad in the air. There were angels dining at the Ritz when a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. I may be right, I may be wrong, but I'm perfectly willing to swear that as you turned and smiled at me, a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. The moon that lingered over London town, a puzzled moon, he wore a frown. How could he know we two were so in love? The whole darn world seemed upside down. The streets of town were paved with stars. It was such a romantic affair. And as we kissed and said goodnight, a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. How strange it was, how sweet and strange, there was never a dream to compare with that hazy, crazy night we met when a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. This heart of mine beat loud and fast like a merry-go-round in a fair, for we were dancing cheek to cheek when a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. When dawn came stealing up all gold and blue to interrupt our rendezvous, I still remember how you smiled and said, was that a dream or was it true? Our homeward step was just as light as the tap dancing feet of a stair, for we were dancing cheek to cheek when a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. I know 'cause I was there that night in Berkeley Square. schön und zart siegt sie nahen auf Himmels Gunst und Spür weist, dass sie ja alles untertan, dass sie alles untertan. Ist sie schön und gut dazu, reißt laut wie milde Kindheit ihrem Aug eilt Amor zu, dort eilt seine Blindheit und verweilt in süßer Ruhe und verweilt in süßer Ruhe. Darum Sylvia Tenor sang, ich holde Sylvia Ehren. Jeden Reis besiegt sie lang, denn Erde kann gewähren. Grenze ihr und seitenlang, Grenze ihr und seitenklang.
Well, thank you, Alice. What a beautiful performance. And you know what? It's really nice to mix things up a bit by hearing a bit of classical music on the mix. So thank you very much for joining us. I suppose my first question is, how did you get into classical music and what do you like about it the most?
Well, I guess I got into it really when I was in sort of year 10, 11, so about 16. We had a good choir at our school, and I started having lessons through that as well, and I did a competition in my last year at that school, and I won first place in the vocal category for classical singing.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Long time ago
Yeah,
now.
I was gonna say.
But yeah, from that we went on to do a tour around Spain, and me and a few other singers joined up with the wind band and performed around Spain for a week
quite
or
a
so.
massive performance.
Yeah, it was really nice. And then when I went off to college, I was in a few choirs. One called a madrigal choir, which is like a very small choir, like a barbershop, but classical and for girls.
Was there dancing involved?
No.
Hat sticks? No, none of
none
that.
of that, no. And then also a chamber choir, which is slightly bigger with boys as well, and then the whole choir of the music department. And we went on to do Woking and Godalming music festivals.
Oh wow, amazing.
Mostly won all the categories because there weren't many entrants, but yeah. So I guess that's really where I started from. And as for what I like about it,
yeah, what gets you out of bed in the morning to be like, I'm going to sing classical music today? Is it kind of Sound of Music-esque, or is it... what is it about classical music?
It's interesting because my music tastes, or what I choose to listen to, doesn't necessarily sort of line up with the sort of music I like to sing. I will listen to music anywhere from heavy metal.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Quite the contrast.
Yeah, then. Grunge stuff, all the way through to pop, you know. I guess for me, I don't know, there's something really special about singing classical music because it's kind of one of those sort of fine arts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a certain level of performance you've got to do whilst singing it and rules you have to follow.
Oh, right.
But,
like what rules do you have to follow?
Well, for example, vibrato is very important in classical singing.
Yes.
You know, the vibration of the vocal cords and the as you hold long notes. And a lot of the time when you sing a long note, you've got to start off with no vibrato and then have vibrato at the end of the note and things
so it's like
that.
a bit of a journey.
Yes.
Vibrato
and,
path.
Yeah, exactly. And always you will have the verses of your song. You will know whether you're going to sing that one loud, quiet, and you know, there's definitely a flow to the songs, and they're always so expressive, and I don't know, it's just something really magical for me about singing classical music.
And probably quite emotive as well.
Definitely.
Have you ever been brought to tears by a piece of music?
I wouldn't go as far as to say brought to tears, no.
Probably a bit awkward if you are singing and then you just break down. That might
no,
not be
I haven't,
ideal.
I haven't gone that far, no. But definitely once you, especially if it's a foreign language, when you do look up the meanings, it can be really quite powerful what's being said, and a lot is sort of lost in translation as well. So for me, I speak a little German, so I love to sing in German because not only do I know the meaning of the song in English, but I can also relate to the meaning of the song in German. So
do you think because quite a bit of classical music is in different languages, and as you're saying, German is one of them, do you think it's helped learn the language of German by singing in it?
I definitely think it helps, yeah. When you can connect with something you're saying in a foreign language, that's really powerful for learning it, because if you're reading out of a guidebook, you know, oh, where's the train station? There's no emotional connection to what you're saying, and there's no expression. Whereas when you sing, you're expressing who you are, not just what the song is saying. So yeah, I definitely think it's important, especially for pronunciation, because it's very important to obviously pronounce as well as best you can a language in the accent that it's meant to be spoken in, instead of our English accent. So when you're learning a song, a classical song in another language, you will often have a pronunciation guide with it, you know, a track of someone speaking the lyrics.
Exactly.
So that you know how to pronounce it, because you know, you don't want to sing it in an English accent and people be like...
Yeah, I suppose, you've got to get the accent all right, pretty okay.
Yeah.
So what's to come for the rest of the year? I know we're only halfway into it, but is there any exciting things coming up?
Well, at the moment, I'm only just sort of rediscovering classical music. For a long time, I was doing contemporary, and for sort of the past 5 years, maybe, I was doing contemporary, and it's only just got to now that I've realised, no, I really don't want to be doing that. I've pushed myself for that amount of time to try and get good at it, but no, my heart lies in classical music. So for me, it's just about sort of deciding what I want to do with my voice.
Exactly. Maybe musicals, potentially? Because that would be exciting.
That would be exciting, yeah, maybe. We'll have to see what's out there on the horizon, but I definitely want to be in a big choir. Choral stuff is...
Travelling the world.
That would be, that would be awesome.
I mean, you're never going to say no to an aeroplane ticket.
No, exactly,
Singing classical music. Awesome. Yeah. And so for anyone taking up classical music, would you give them any advice, any recommendations?
I think when you're starting out, you need a really good grounding. So a really good teacher who you get on well with, who you can be vulnerable with, because you will get it wrong lots of times, and you can't be self-conscious of getting it wrong because you'll never improve. So yeah, I think starting off with a really good grounding and just trying things out, trying out different, because obviously there's different genres within classical music as well, just trying out different sort of types from different eras and just seeing what suits your voice or your instrument.
Exactly, and maybe even performing in bare feet. I love that. I think that's absolutely amazing.
Yes, you know, why have uncomfortable shoes when you're trying to perform? You know?
For now, thank you, Alice, for that wonderful performance, and thank you to all of you watching at home. We look forward to seeing you a little bit later on. Thank you and good night.